Good evening to everybody. Uh, Namaskar. I am Dr. Pradyumna Singh Shekhawat on the behalf of Jain Vishwa Bharati Institute, Ladnu, India, and it gives me the immense pleasure that uh, Etonita Rossi is organizing such a wonderful program for the students of Italy and abroad. I really thanks to Sarva Yoga University, which is affiliated with the Sarva Yoga International uh, Institute recognized by Ayush Department of India, and also I am very thankful to her because she gave me an opportunity to present the Priksha meditation, a style of meditation to all the aspirants. So now we start the session. The topic of today's session is Priksha meditation theory and practice. We all know there are lot of systems of meditation like Vipassana, mindful meditation, transcendental meditation. Like that, Priksha meditation is another system which is extracted from Jain philosophy, and the founder of this type of meditation is Acharya Sri Mahapragyaji. Acharya Sri Mahapragyaji is Acharya of Tera Panth sect, belongs to Jain community, and in 1975 he founded this system of meditation after a long uh, analysis into the philosophical text of Jain religion, and he also provide the scientific aspect of each and every part of this meditation. So friends, now we start the theory. First we start the theory of Priksha meditation. So first of all, what is Priksha? Priksha is the word derived from root iksha of Sanskrit, and when prefix pra is added to it, it became Priksha. The root word iksh means to see, and when we add this prefix pra to it, then it becomes see very deeply. Now, here seeing doesn't mean external vision, but it is a state of mind through which we can see ourselves by insight. All of the time we are indulging to see the world through the our special senses, five special senses. But this type of meditation will teach you how to see ourselves, how to see our insight. So, this Priksha meditation is a system of meditation which engaging one's mind fully in perception of subtle internal and innate phenomena of consciousness. We all know that we every time we are either indulging in our imaginations or either indulging in past memories. So this system of Priksha meditation uh, teaches how to live in present, because all the omniscience of the India, they says that real life is living in present only. If we live in present, then we are living with us. If we are indulged in uh, memories or imaginations, then we are not with us, we are with the thoughts that was generated through any idea or through any stimulation. Now, the basic principle, uh, a aphorism was there in Jain canonical named Dasve and it is Sampikhaye Appaga Mappa Enam. And this became the basic principle of Priksha meditation. It means see you thyself. Means perceive and realize the most subtle aspect of consciousness by your conscious mind. Here we have to see ourselves with our conscious mind. Eyes were closed and we cut off all the senses from outer world, and then we start to see ourselves with our conscious mind. To see is the fundamental principle of meditation, because when we see ourselves with our conscious mind, at that time we are living in present. No memories and no imaginations are there. So this became the major principle of Priksha meditation. Then we will discuss what is the aim of Priksha meditation. Then you can easily see the aims of Priksha meditation. Uh, our mind is constantly choked by contaminating us with emotions and passion, which hampers the flow of wisdom. The flow of wisdom which is emerging from our soul, it is hampered by all these contaminations, that is like urges, emotions and passions, and we have to remove that these contaminations. So when our mind is cleared from these contamination, then the peace of mind automatically surfaces, means the peace and calmness in our mind emerges. Balance of mind, equanimity, and the state of well being are also experienced through this. When we wash out all these contaminations, then our mind became balanced, our body and mind became in equanimity, and we are in the state of well being. So, this is the major aim of Priksha meditation, and the second major objective of Priksha meditation is uh, the major purpose of the practice of Priksha meditation, or we can say Priksha Dhyana, is to purify the mental states. There are many, we are almost indulged in the different states of our mind. So, this system of meditation, it purify the mental states. Now, constituents of Priksha meditation, some problem is there in this slide. Uh, there are 8 main components of Priksha meditation, and first is Kayosarg, second is Antaryatra, then Swas Priksha, Sharira Priksha, Chaitanya Kendra Priksha, Leshya Dhyan, Bhavna, and Anu Priksha. I think last eighth is cutted, so in further slide we will discuss all the things. First of all, we discuss about Kayasarga. Kayasarga, it means to leave our body, or to experience that our body and soul are different. Scientifically, we can say that it is the relaxation with self-awareness. We relax whole of the body, but with our awareness. fully aware about each and every part of body and relaxing this. We all know that stress is caused by stimuli. When any stimuli came through our senses, then our brain start to react on those stimuli. And if the intensity of that stimuli is, you can say, more, then our brain changes its functions, and its normal functions to control the body are changed. So, when the normal function of brain is changing, then it will become stress. So, there are two type of stress. We can say that one is organic and one is systemic tension. Means if sometimes our whole system engaged with tension through that stress stimuli, and sometimes our specified organs are came in stress or tension. So our body having abandonment of consciousness, or we can say abandonment of the body coupled with high degree of conscious awareness, because the major, you can say, the aspect of our existence is soul, and soul is the most conscious, or we can say soul having very high level of consciousness. And when this soul attach with our body seems to be conscious. So we have very high degree of conscious awareness, but due to ignorance or due to lack of, you can say, mental stability or mental calmness, we are not too much conscious about this. Okay, then when we do this Kayosarga, then it reduces the metabolic activity and mental tensions. The relaxation of whole body, which you can say, which relaxes our skeletal muscles and different tissues. It is not only relaxation but actual perception of self. Kayasarga is one part is relaxation, but another part is actual perception. Quite apart from material self, how to know ourself, our body, our soul. This is the main purpose of Kayasarga. Second is internal trip. The internal trip means Antarayatra. And is this Antaryatra means we have to concentrate on our spinal cord. And from the last tip of spinal cord, that is Shakti Kendra, we have to travel upward and reach up to the upper part of our brain, that is Jnana Kendra. And this will yield in the flow of vital energy towards our brain. You can see, you all know in Kundalini they were talking about Mooladhara to Sahasrar. There are 7 different type of chakras. Like that, Priksha meditation have different psychic centers, and the major 2 psychic centers are Shakti Kendra and Jnana Kendra. So travel between Shakti Kendra and Jnana Kendra is internal trip or Antaryatra. Next step of Priksha meditation is Swasa Priksha, that is the perception of breathing. We all know breathing is very essential for our metabolism, for different functions of our body, and especially this breathing controls mental states. Okay, and when we concentrate on our breathe, then we are in complete awareness, and this Swas Preksha results in calm and cool brain. There are two types of Swasa Preksha. First one is Dirgha Swas Preksha, and second one is Samavritti Swas Preksha. In Dirgha Swas Preksha, we will do slow and complete inhalation and exhalation. And in this, we reduce the count of breath by, by we can say deepening it or by lengthening it. So we have to deep and slow inhalation and deep and slow exhalation. Then our breath count reduces, and through which uh, we regulate the breathe, and the regulation of breathe, that is reduction in its rate and the rhythm, results in a steady mind. This results in the control of primal drives like urges, impulses, emotions, and passion. Second one is Samavritti Swasa Priksha. Samavritti Swasa Priksha means we have to inhale through one nostril, say left. First we have to inhale through left and exhale through right nostril, and then again doing the same. So this is the Samvritti Swasa Priksha. Samvritti Swasa Priksha, the major benefits of this is the perceptive mind is closely linked with our breath. So the equilibrium of both the hemispheres of our brain will establish through this Samvritti Swasa Priksha. It helps in developing the inherent capacities of the subconscious mind, such as ESP and clairvoyance, etc. When we do the Samvritti Swasa Priksha, then extrasensory perceptions and clairvoyance, like capacities of our mind, enhances. Next is Sharira Priksha, that is perception of body. In this, we have to concentrate on each and every part of our body, so that the consciousness will go to each and every part of our body. So it changes one's perception so that the sensational signals of pain are experienced without suffering. Same in the case with the signals of sensation of pleasure. We can also feel the signals of pleasure also. It results in complete self-awareness. So Sharira Priksha results in complete self-awareness. Next one is Chaitanya Kendra Priksha, that is perception of psychic centers. In Priksha meditation, we have 13 different type of psychic centers, by which they are the most subtle centers of energy, and in scientific way we can say that these centers are located on different endocrine glands of our body. So few Chaitanya Kendras are given here. We have 13 psychic centers, and those psychic centers which are on endocrine glands are displayed in this slide. Beside these centers, we have centers on our nose, on our tongue, on our ears, on our eyes, on between on the this head part, and these types of centers. So practicing of Chaitanya Kendra Preksha results in establishing firm control of reasoning mind over the action of all those centers. Because all we know that our limbic system majorly control all the thoughts and all the emotions of our body, and through this Chaitanya Kendra Priksha uh, we can train our limbic system also. The brain about desirable transformation in mental behavior and habits. We can change habits through neuroendocrine coordination. This neuroendocrine coordination is uh, most important function of our body. If we have an equilibrium in neuroendocrine coordination, or we have a balanced neuroendocrine coordination, then our body and our consciousness develops. Then next one is Leshya Dhyan. Leshya Dhyan means perception of colors. There are two types of Leshyas in Jain Canonicals. One is that three Leshyas which are unauspicious. These are Krishna Nila Kapota, means black, blue, and that grey color Leshyas. You all know that we have a aura around us, and these aura having different type of colors. So if our aura consists of black, blue or grey color, then our behavior is aggressive behavior, violent behavior, and we are indulging in materialistic things only. But if we have the colors like red, uh, yellow, and white in our aura, then these are the Shubhaleshya, these are the auspicious colors. And when we having these color in our aura, then our behavior is very, you can say, humble. We are non-violent, and we are having friendship with all. Our mind and brain remains calm and cool, and we have a positive thinking in us. So, Acharya Mahapragya ji says that if we change the color, then our behavior changes. Or when behavior is changed, then the color of aura also change. So, from this principle, they provide this Leshya Dhyan, and this Leshya Dhyan is the agency which transforms the imperceptible micro vibrants of primal drives into perceptible force, which produce appropriate conditions in the neuroendocrine system, thus acting as a liaison between the spiritual self and physical self. Next, last two parts are Bhavana and Anupreksha. That Anupreksha, that in eighth part, which is missing in that slide. We can say Bhavana means auto-suggestion. Auto-suggestion means we have to suggest ourselves different times. And contemplation is the thing in which we go more subtle, and we will also suggest ourselves with color and a specific center. So first of all, to set a theme through auto suggestion. When we start auto suggestion, then our brain start to follow it. So the major reason of bhavana is to set a theme in our brain. Then to contemplate and reflect on that theme. So this is the process of this anupreksha and bhavana. Then repeated recitation of selected syllabi meant for particular theme or a thought. There are many anuprekshas, and these anuprekshas are majorly meant for change in habits. If we want to change our behavior or our habits, then anupreksha is a very powerful tool, we can say. Then concentration and contemplation on a single theme and taking a purely objective view actually acuity of cognition increases many folds. That ultimately yields in desirable changes in our body and mind. So these are the important benefits of anupreksha and bhavana. So this is the theoretical part of preksha meditation. Beside that, two different things are also there. One is supporting part of preksha meditation. Those supporting components are asana, pranayama, mudra, and dhvani sound. And three special component of preksha meditations are also there. These are living in present, perception of thoughts, and tratak. So this is all about the theory of preksha meditation. Now we will do the practice. Thank you.